Imagine a train that doesn't just roll on the ground, but soars above it, elevated on massive concrete pillars, gliding effortlessly over rivers, roads, and fields. This engineering marvel stretches for hundreds of kilometers, weaving its way through landscapes that were once nearly impassable. This isn't science fiction, it's Africa's longest elevated railway, built in just 3 years, a feat that stunned even seasoned engineers. What once took a day of slow, bumpy travel now takes just hours, connecting cities and villages like never before. The Iron Snake, as it's called, transformed trade and travel, slicing through old bottlenecks and opening a new chapter for the region's economy and daily life. Old colonial tracks and clogged roads gave way to a modern marvel, like upgrading from dial-up to fiber optic overnight, bringing speed and reliability to millions. The scale is staggering, a railway so long it could reach into space, if stood on end, and so high, it seems to float above the land. Thousands of workers, mountains of materials, and a powerful partnership made it possible, overcoming obstacles that once seemed insurmountable. This is more than a train. It's a symbol of ambition, engineering, and a vision for a better future, inspiring hope in communities along its path. How did a project that should take a decade finish in just 3 years? The answer lies in relentless determination and global cooperation. It took big ideas, even bigger loans, and unprecedented teamwork. People from different nations working side by side. China brought the plan, the resources, and the drive to make it happen, while local workers brought knowledge of the land and a passion for progress. This is the story of how a flying train changed a nation's destiny and set the stage for a new era of connection and opportunity. For decades, traveling from Africa's coast to its heart was a slow, frustrating ordeal. Journeys that should have taken hours often stretched into days, with travelers facing unpredictable delays and uncomfortable conditions. The old Lunatic Express, built in colonial times, was unreliable and painfully slow. Its outdated technology and frequent breakdowns made it a symbol of the continent's struggle with aging infrastructure. Goods piled up at ports, roads jammed with trucks, and businesses suffered from endless delays. The movement of essential supplies was unpredictable, making it hard for companies to plan or grow. The economy was stuck in a traffic jam, held back by crumbling infrastructure. Rural communities remained isolated, and opportunities for trade and development slipped away. A modern railway wasn't just a dream, it was a necessity. It represented hope for a new era of progress, connecting people and markets like never before. Leaders and citizens alike wanted a fast, safe, high-capacity line to connect ports with inland cities. They envisioned a network that could transform daily life and unlock Africa's vast potential. This new railway would slash delivery times, lower costs, and make travel easier for everyone. It would mean fresh produce arriving on time, and families reuniting more easily. It promised jobs, tourism, and a chance for Africa to leap ahead with the world-class infrastructure. New businesses could flourish, and local economies would finally have a chance to thrive. The vision, a lifeline for trade, a boost for families, and a future where Africa leads, not lags. It was about building pride and possibility for generations to come, but building it required resources and expertise far beyond what was locally available. The scale of the project was immense, demanding new skills, technology, and investment. Who could help turn this dream into reality? The answer would shape the continent's future for decades. The answer was about to arrive from across the ocean, bringing new hope and the promise of transformation. As Africa dreamed of a new railway, a vision of progress and connection began to take shape across the continent. The need for modern infrastructure was clear. Railways could unlock trade, boost economies, and link distant communities like never before. At the same time, China was launching its ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, a sweeping global push to build infrastructure and connect continents through roads, ports, and railways. China saw Africa as a key partner in this vision and offered to help build the railway, promising expertise and resources on an unprecedented scale. The Export-Import Bank of China stepped in with a massive loan, making the project possible without decades of saving or waiting for international aid. But China's offer was more than just money. They brought skilled engineers, advanced technology, and a proven blueprint for rapid, large-scale construction. Chinese companies, experts in building high-speed rail, manage everything from route planning and design to sourcing materials and organizing manpower, ensuring every detail was handled efficiently. This was a turnkey solution. China handled the details, Africa got the railway, and both sides shared in the progress. The partnership was framed as a new era of cooperation, not colonization, with leaders emphasizing mutual respect and shared goals. China aimed to leave a lasting legacy, modern infrastructure that would serve Africa for generations, transforming daily life and opportunity. The deal was sealed, the money secured, and the plans drawn up in detail, setting the foundation for a new chapter in African development. Now, the real work could begin, at a pace few thought possible, with teams working day and night to meet ambitious deadlines. It was a partnership built on ambition, trust, and the promise of mutual benefit for both nations. The stage was set for a construction sprint that would reshape the landscape and redefine what was possible for Africa's future. With funding and plans in place, construction began at breakneck speed. Thousands of Chinese and African workers mobilized, transforming the landscape almost overnight. The secret? Building in sections. Multiple teams worked simultaneously along the route. Precast concrete beams were manufactured on site, while giant machines placed them atop pillars. Technology and teamwork drove progress. Chinese engineers brought expertise. Locals brought energy and determination. Materials arrived just in time, and every team knew their task. The result? A 3-year sprint of non-stop building, day and night. It was a blend of human effort and machine power, all focused on one goal. The railway rose from the ground in record time. Africa had never seen anything like it. Building through Africa's wild heart meant facing nature's toughest challenges. The route crossed national parks teeming with elephants, lions, and giraffes. Engineers elevated the railway on pillars, creating wildlife corridors so animals could roam safely beneath. Noise was minimized to protect the animals' peace. The railway also had to cross the unstable Great Rift Valley, notorious for shifting soils and earthquakes. Deep foundations and advanced engineering made the line flexible and strong. Workers braved scorching sun, torrential rains, and remote locations. Supplying thousands of workers across hundreds of kilometers was a logistical feat. Despite language barriers and exhaustion, teams persevered. Every pillar and track was a victory over nature and time. The project proved that massive infrastructure can coexist with Africa's unique environment. Against all odds, the Iron Snake pressed forward. The railway wasn't just built, it built people. Tens of thousands of locals were trained in modern construction skills, from machinery operation to welding and project management. Chinese experts shared their knowledge, creating a new generation of skilled African engineers and technicians. The project became a giant, hands-on technical school stretching across the country. Local economies boomed as jobs and small businesses sprang up along the route. The impact was immediate. Steady incomes, new skills, and a sense of pride in building a national landmark. Training didn't stop at construction. Future train drivers, station masters, and technicians learned their craft, some even studying in China. When the railway opened, it was operated by local talent. The Iron Snake became a sustainable asset, run by the people it was built to serve. The legacy, not just a railway, but a skilled workforce ready for the next big project. The nation had learned to build its own future. When the first train rolled out, it marked more than a new railway. It was a symbol of partnership and progress. Completed on time and on budget, the project became a source of national pride. Modern trains now glide across the landscape, connecting families, businesses, and tourists with ease. The railway is a moving symbol of a nation on the rise. Its success inspired other African countries to dream bigger and build more. This is just the first artery in a future network that could unite the continent. The Iron Snake proved Africa can close its infrastructure gap, one bold project at a time. With vision and teamwork, rapid progress is possible. The steel ribbon carries not just cargo, but the hopes of a continent. Africa's journey forward is moving at full speed. The railway's arrival didn't just change the landscape, it transformed lives. In towns once isolated by rough roads, markets now buzz with goods from distant cities. Farmers and artisans can reach new buyers, turning hard work into real opportunity. Jobs sprang up along the route, from station workers to local entrepreneurs launching fresh businesses. But the impact goes even further. Regional trade is thriving, as neighboring countries send goods faster and cheaper than ever before. Borders once seen as barriers are now gateways for commerce and collaboration. Local communities aren't just passengers on this journey, they are driving a new era of prosperity. For many, the sound of the train is more than a whistle in the distance. It's the promise of growth, stability, and a brighter tomorrow. On these tracks, hope travels fast, and opportunity follows close behind. But behind the railway's success lies a story of extraordinary engineering. To conquer steep mountains, deep valleys, and shifting landscapes, engineers turned to groundbreaking solutions. Massive bridges stretched like silver ribbons across canyons, their supports anchored deep into bedrock. Tunnels, bored through solid rock with precision drills, snake beneath towering peaks, some taking years to carve. Advanced track-laying machines worked day and night, placing rails with laser-guided accuracy. To withstand harsh climates and seismic tremors, designers used state-of-the-art materials and flexible supports, ensuring safety and stability even in the toughest conditions. Solar-powered monitoring systems now watch every inch of track, alerting teams instantly to any sign of trouble. This elevated railway isn't just a marvel of construction, it's a showcase of innovation. Every kilometer reflects the creativity, skill, and determination of thousands of minds working together. The result? A railway that defies gravity, weathers storms, and connects worlds once thought unreachable. Here, technology doesn't just move trains, it moves possibilities. As the tracks stretched across vast wilderness, another challenge emerged, protecting the fragile ecosystems that called this land home. From the earliest blueprints, engineers and environmentalists worked side by side to ensure the railway would not only conquer nature, but coexist with it. Wildlife corridors were woven beneath and above the tracks, allowing herds to migrate freely and safely. Bridges and tunnels were carefully routed to avoid sensitive habitats, while noise-reducing barriers shielded animals from the rumble of passing trains. Construction crews replanted native grasses and trees, restoring landscapes after building was complete. But the commitment didn't end there. The railway's trains run on clean energy, dramatically reducing carbon emissions compared to traditional transport. Water-saving technologies and waste management systems were installed at every station, minimizing the project's environmental footprint. Every decision, from the materials used to the routes chosen, reflected a promise. Progress would never come at the cost of the planet. This railway stands not just as a symbol of human achievement, but as a testament to a future where innovation and nature travel hand in hand, forging a path toward true sustainability. Behind every mile of gleaming steel, there are stories of hands that built, minds that dreamed, and hearts that persevered. Meet Liu, a young engineer who spent 3 years living in remote camps, braving freezing winds and scorching sun, driven by the belief that this railway would change lives. Listen to Zhang, a veteran welder whose steady hands joined the rails, each spark a step toward connecting distant families. And hear from Mei, an environmental scientist who walked every stretch of the route, ensuring every creature had a safe passage home. Their days were long, filled with challenges big and small, landslides, storms, and the ache of missing loved ones. Yet each obstacle only deepened their resolve. They celebrated milestones together: when the first tunnel broke through, when the last track was laid, when the first train roared across the mountains. For many, it wasn't just a job but a mission. They built more than infrastructure. They built bridges between people, and a legacy for future generations. In their voices, we hear the true spirit of this railway, not just a marvel of engineering, but a tapestry woven from countless hopes, sacrifices, and dreams. Their stories remind us progress is not only measured in kilometers but in the courage and dedication of those who make it possible. Beyond the roar of engines and the hum of machinery, another kind of connection was being forged, one between nations, cultures, and people. From the very beginning, the railway was more than a project, it was a partnership. Chinese and African governments drafted ambitious plans together, aligning visions for growth and prosperity. Companies from both continents pooled expertise and resources, tackling challenges side by side. On the construction sites, camaraderie blossomed among workers from distant lands. Engineers exchanged ideas beneath the African sky, translators bridged language gaps, and local crews learned new technologies while sharing their own knowledge of the land. Joint safety drills, shared meals, and mutual celebrations turned colleagues into friends, and friends into family. This collaboration reached beyond concrete and steel. Scholarships and training programs empowered a new generation of African engineers, welders, and technicians, ensuring the skills and benefits would remain long after the last rail was laid. The railway became a living classroom, where innovation traveled in both directions, and every achievement was shared. Together they navigated setbacks and triumphs, united by a common goal: to build a pathway not just for trains, but for opportunity, understanding, and a shared future. In this grand alliance, the railway stands not only as a symbol of progress, but as a testament to what's possible when continents join hands and dream together. As the dust settles and trains glide across the new tracks, the story of this railway is far from over. In fact, it may just be the beginning. Across Africa, governments and visionaries are watching, inspired by a blueprint that has turned possibility into reality. The success of this project sparks new conversations in distant boardrooms and bustling city halls. Where can the next Iron Road lead? What other communities can be connected? Plans for future rail lines are already taking shape, each one learning from the lessons of this pioneering venture. Engineers dream of high-speed corridors linking capitals, of freight lines opening up remote regions, of seamless travel that shrinks distances and unlocks opportunities. African universities are launching new programs in rail technology and infrastructure, training students to lead the next wave of innovation. Investors, seeing the promise of transformation, are more willing to back bold ideas. International partnerships grow stronger, fueled by trust and shared success. As more tracks stretch across the continent, they carry not just cargo and commuters, but hope. Hope for sustainable development, for green technology, for unity across borders. The ripple effect of this railway is set to redefine Africa's future. With every new connection, the continent moves closer to a day when its vast landscapes are linked by ribbons of steel, and its people by a common journey toward progress and possibility.